Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. We got a package yesterday, and I opened it because I knew what was in here, and I wasn't sure if what was in here was really to share or not. And so I asked the person who sent this if it was okay if I share this. This is from Aaron. Aaron is a very regular viewer. He's a podcaster. He has a podcast called Diner Discussions, which I was on probably a couple years ago at this point, 2-3 years ago. Man, it's been a while. It was still during lockdown because he wasn't able to record normally. And this is a book called I Love You, Mosterous, and it is a very short book of poetry about his sister. So it says on the back that his sister was killed in a car accident on her way to school, and he was driving. And so he wrote a series of poems about her, about his feelings, a little bit about everything. And there's some really powerful stuff in here. Like I've read the whole thing already. I really enjoy the work in here. It's very thought provoking, and I'm really thankful that he sent it to me. He reached out a few weeks ago and asked if he could send me the book. He's working on part 2 right now, and I think if you like poetry, if that's your thing, I realize that poetry is not for everybody. For me, this work that's in here is meditative, meaning that it's the kind of poetry. It's not the flowing, poetic, like metered poems. This is more thought-provoking, more guttural than that, more meditative. Honestly, it's really awesome, and I'm really thankful that he sent it to me. So thank you, Aaron. This is cool. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to part 2. So, now to shift it very quickly into something else. Sorry if that cheapens Aaron's memory of his sister, but you know me. I don't like to hang on the somber. I got another book, and I just set it down. This whole shop is covered in vinyl dust because we've been cutting vinyl flooring. Anyway. Blades in the Dark from John Harper. This is a RPG. This isn't a book. I mean, it is a book. It's obviously a book. It's a hardcover book. And I bought the hardcover book because I don't like PDFs. I don't like reading on my computer. While I was in the car on the way to SPIEL Essen, 10-hour car ride, Ignacy had talked about how he and his friends have made this drive for 20 years now, and they've always said they were going to put together like a role-playing session and role-play on the way, and they never did. Like every year they talk about it. And so at some point during that trip, phones listen. It was either on Facebook or Instagram. I saw an ad for something on either BackerKit or GameFound or Kickstarter or one of the platforms that was like, sorry about that. I saw something that was like a one-shot RPG that was intended to be like, read this book. Like, I got the impression that it was kind of like the old solo dungeon crawls, where it'd be like, go here, roll some, have a combat, do the thing, come here, almost like a choose your own adventure. But I'm not sure that that's what it was. But it led me down the path of learning that there was such a thing as a one-shot RPG, with the intent being a low or no prep RPG session that you could run in a 10-hour car ride. That would be perfect to just pull out and be like, all right, guys, we are whatever, here's character sheets, add a little fluff, let's play. Stupid, simple systems. And so I asked on Twitter and Blue Sky and Thread, all the things, because I'm on all the things, like, does anybody have any recommendations? And this one got recommended quite a few times. It's called Blades in the Dark. And I really like this setting. I don't. This was sold as a one-shot RPG, but this seems to be like a full. Like you could run campaigns in this, no problem. And the truth is, I think any RPG can be run as one. You can run one-shot sessions of anything. If you, especially if as a GM, you go ahead and pre-make characters, you pre-make a storyline, like you have that stuff ready to go. All you have to do is hand out character sheets. People can flesh them out a little bit if they want. Let's go. The system here, this is based on Forged in the Dark, I think, is the system that's in here. And then I think it's... Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this has something to do with the Apocalypse something or other system. There's a couple of these kind of low prep, no prep RPG systems. And that's what this uses one of those. So it can be that quick, spontaneous session type stuff. But the setting here is fantastic. This is like, if you've read Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn, this is kind of that. It's putting together the heist crew in a world that does not have sunlight, like in the dark, in this kind of fantasy Victorian setting. Very, very cool. So whoever recommended this, I think it was Chris. Thank you for the recommendation. I'm still looking for more. I found a few systems that I like the idea of. There's one in particular called Roll for Shoes. Roll for Shoes is like a 6-sentence RPG system. You start with a skill called Do Everything at value 1, and that's how many dice you roll to test that skill. So I want to kick down this door. You roll a die. Anytime you roll all 6s, you gain a sub-skill that's equal to whatever it was you just did, 1 skill higher. So if I say I'm going to kick down this door, I roll, I get a 6, cool. My GM says, all right, now you have, boots of kicking or whatever. And so now the next time you try to kick down a door or use your boots of kicking, you'd roll 2d6. And if you roll 2 6s there, then now you have this, whatever. So there's the entire setup is literally just flesh out your characters, let's play. That's the entire system. Like, it's just that simple. And I love the idea of it. And I've been thinking about how I could put together something for those types of situations. Because my youngest has asked a few times to play D&D. We started playing during the pandemic. We played a couple of sessions, but I went with one of the pre-made, like pre-done adventures that came in either the starter kit or whatever. And she just wasn't enjoying herself. Neither of my kids were enjoying themselves. It was very much an old school, like what I was familiar with, the kind of, like, let's cut the story, let's get to the dungeon crawl part. And then they just kind of lost interest there. I think they were much more interested in doing a narrative RPG. And so I've been looking for a way to kind of, the next time she says, let's play D&D, let me bust something out that I don't have to sit and read a manual and freshen myself up on it. I can just pull it out and go. But that's not why I picked this up. I picked this up because it was recommended and I was immediately drawn to the setting. I used to collect RPG books just to read for the setting stuff because world building has always been something that fascinates me. But I think I'm going to try to find a way to pull out some very quick, like, let's go RPG sessions with my kid whenever she asks. And Malia, not interested. She doesn't want to play D&D. But I have got a concession from her that if I pick up the Fallout RPG, she might consider playing it. And I have a yes from my other friend, Jeff, who said he would also consider playing that with us. So there might be a way for me to get my kid to play a role-playing game, my wife to play, like for us to enjoy something like that together. I just have to buy the material and read it and see if it's something we want to try. So I'm going to keep looking. If you have more recommendations for one-shot RPGs or low to no prep RPGs, especially fantasy settings, let me know. Put it in the comments. I'm still on the lookout for more of these types of things. Again, thank you, Aaron, for this amazing book. If you're interested in dark, witty, heist-type settings, check out Blades in the Dark. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should notice sounds smart is sphinx. It is a noun meaning a mythical creature with the head of a woman, the body of a lion, the wings of an eagle, and the tail of a serpent. When Oedipus correctly answered the sphinx's riddle, the sphinx leaped to its death in the valley below. Sphinx. S-P-H-I-N-X. So, of course I always think of the sphinx as the sphinx, like the one in Egypt. But I think the sphinx was also like a big part of Greek mythology. Is it the same thing, or is that two different things?